leaving Hermit Park right now. Kind of sad that we're leaving because that was a pretty awesome campsite. It's like, what, 10:30 right now, and we're pretty much packed. We just have to do like a final check over, and since a lot of our cameras are starting to die now, we're just going to go to Starbucks, get some coffee, take up all the plugs, and charge our camera equipment before we set out. But I think we'll be on the trail at a pretty decent time, as long as we can find it.
Yeah.
If we're going in today, we're in the park tomorrow, and then we're in the park the day after that. Is that 3 days?
Yeah.
Like $25 for a day pass? That's a lot.
Yeah.
Damn, I should have gotten the annual national park pass. Okay, so we did the week pass. What was it, 35?
35.
Okay, 35. That's not that bad. So we're going up here. We're going to make a left on Moraine Park. The ranger at the entrance station just told us it's the worst time of day to try to park. Oops.
Oh.
We're not good at being early.
Yeah.
Oh geez, here we go. Parking area. Well, he's leaving. That's a good sign. Okay, so we're making a U-turn because the parking is full.
Yeah, because we had to like go past the camping. It's like on the right.
Yeah,
you know?
there was a right. So I think we made a wrong turn anyway. I kind of want to go down there, but I don't know. I don't know if that parking's going to be full as well. Hashtag National Park Problems.
Yeah.
The current parking situation is not good. We've been circling for a couple minutes. There's a ton of cars that are also circling. There's a lot of day hikers out right now, and we're hoping they're gonna start leaving for lunch, but we can't find a spot anywhere close to the trailhead, so I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. They need designated backpacker camp spot or parking spots. Success. And we'll test Patrick's parallel parking skills. Right before we go out onto the trail, we make sure that we eat something because that's one less meal that we have to carry, and then we're ready to go and hike. And we also do a final double check to make sure that we have all the essentials. The water filter, a lighter, all the things we can't make it without. Well, we're getting our packs all ready. We did peanut butter jelly time to throw down some calories. We're getting everything set to head out, and I just wanted to show you one of my tricks is wearing compression socks, because a lot of hikers complain about their feet getting swollen or their legs tired, and that really helps with circulation. Mojo is the brand that I usually wear. And then I have a strip of kinesiology tape on the inside of my knee, because a lot of times going downhill I'll get medial knee pain. And I have a brace with me, but I prefer not to wear it if I can get away with it. The kinesiology tape does better.
Yep.
Do you know what time it is?
1 o'clock, 1:05.
Oh, 1:05. Alright, so we'll see how long it takes us to get to Mill Creek. Alright. We found out that where we parked by the bathrooms wasn't the actual trailhead. This is the road that goes back, and there were two more small parking areas that are closer to the trailhead, but we didn't mind the extra walk. This is an absolutely beautifully maintained trail. There's a ton of trail work that went into this. Little steps, and there we go. That's a ton of work to do that. But it's a very heavily used trail, so I'm sure it's necessary.
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of what I was expecting for like hiking in Colorado. Pretty crazy. All these rock slides everywhere. The pool and a pretty cool bridge.
Ready?
Yep. Oh, you can trout fish. So, if Fern Lake is that way, we want to go the opposite way, right?
Mill Creek?
Mill Creek. Left.
Okay.
So we went over the bridge and made a real hard left onto, what is it, the Mill Creek Trail? And now we're hiking into the area that we just kind of saw from the other side of the river, which is this big open burnt area. I guess there was a wildfire.
Took us about an hour to get there.
About an hour? Okay, wow, not bad.
From the car though.
Yeah, oh well, with our extra 1 mile of hiking from the parking spot we found. Hey, when you see a parking spot, you take it.
Take this parking spot. Yeah. Unless you're like really have injuries, but then
Yeah.
you shouldn't be coming back.
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, take what you can get.
Take the parking spot. Trail definitely does not disappoint.
Yeah.
We've got the first waterfall. I wonder if we check the map, is this waterfall on the map? Yeah, we're on this bridge. There we go. And then the view of the mountains.
I don't think so.
I think we're almost at the top, maybe a little farther. But the views keep getting bigger, or the mountains keep looking bigger and bigger. Okay, let's see what's around this corner. That's one of the other wilderness campsites back there in the Cub.
And then Mill Creek Trail.
Okay.
We just keep going
Yeah.
on that one.
Alright.
1.4.
1.4 to go. So we decided to take the Cub Lake Fork just to see what was over here because it looked like it was pretty close, and sure enough, there's the lake. Worth the extra 2 minutes of walking.
Not even.
Not even, yeah. It's right here. Probably still see the signpost. So there's Cub Lake again. We just went up higher. Today is a pretty good climb. We're going up for a little while. The trail kind of started out pretty flat, but we've been climbing, and you can see off right there in the distance, that's the meadow that we drove through to get to the parking lot, which is probably behind this mountain somewhere. There's some people over there. Upward. It's the theme of the day. Keep climbing. We are doing some climbing today. Pretty rocky and a good stretch of uphill. So we're still climbing. That's where we came from. We're passing from, that's the burnt area over there, and we just made a transition into the area that didn't burn, which is interesting because the whole trail probably would have been like this if there hadn't been a fire. So it gave us some better views, if nothing else. I think we made it to the top of this section after a good while of climbing. So hopefully now downhill, maybe. That's where we came from. And there's that big mountain that we were like, oh, that's really high. We kind of almost caught up to it. We went over the top and we're kind of going down now. There's like these really short pine trees, but there's a ton of them down. I guess they get really high winds here. But it's like, it's very dense. It's almost a little creepy, isn't it? Especially from being in that open area. The transition is a little weird. It's really yellow. Yeah, we've come down low enough now that it's like a mixture of pine trees and aspens. And these aspens are a lot more yellow than the other ones at Golden Gate State Park. These are like pretty much 100% yellow, most of them anyway. And now it's starting to open up. We're thinking we might be close. We found it. Well, almost. We found the sign.
Yeah, it's a nice sign.
Yeah, they do have nice signs.
Yeah, really pronounced. There's no like, is that it?
Paint that's gonna like peel off and you're like, I don't know, is that the sign?
Yeah.
It looks like it was. Alright. Mill Creek campsite. That way?
This way?
Stoves only, Cub Lake. So I guess we keep going here.
I guess for when we get back on the trail, go that way.
Go that way? Alright. Yeah, he did say it was in the meadow.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. It's 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Alright, so 3 hours.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Okay.
Do you want to explain the toilet situation?
Sure, this is my expertise. So we get to go number 2 in the great outdoors. It's a composting toilet. Real easy, lift the lid and do your business, and then over here use your wood chips and put it on top. That's it.
We're missing a key component of the privies that I've used in the past.
A roof.
Walls. So this is your view as you go to the bathroom. I really hope we're the only people at this campsite because
Hi, sir.
that's weird. I've never seen a privy like that.
It's new.
Are you okay with this?
Absolutely.
We got our camp set up. I think we got a really neat spot. All the yellow aspen leaves everywhere, and we're right on the side of the meadow. Pretty nice. Right now, we're the only ones here. There's 2 campsites at the Mill Creek Basin. And we were the first ones here. I don't know if anybody else is coming. I can hear people out in the distance, maybe day hikers. Look how awesome these aspens are in the meadow. Patrick's out in the meadow. He just put the bear canister 70 paces away from our tent. So that's where we have to store the food, but more importantly, we heard an elk bugle twice in like the last 5 minutes over in this direction. So we're really hoping that he's gonna come out to the meadow and we get to see him. I hope. Before getting ready to cook our dinner, we headed over to the stream that is just behind the campsites because we wanted to get our water filtered and have everything ready for cooking and have enough drinking water for that night. There is definitely something wrong with our water filter. When we did the trip in Golden Gate Canyon State Park, it was really slow, and the other lady who was filtering her water was done in like 2 minutes, and we were still sitting there, and I was like, that's kind of weird. And now I feel like it's just gotten worse. And what's happening is when you push on the handle, it's like backflowing down the intake, so the force isn't going in the right direction, and the water from the other end where it's actually coming out purified is coming out like a trickle. So we've been here for, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, and we've gotten 1 liter, and Patrick is still working on the other liter. So I don't know what's going on with the water filter, but it's definitely not working right. That night was one of the most unenjoyable nights of camping that we've had in a long time. Mostly because the elk that was bugling across the meadow started to get closer and closer. The bugling got really loud to the point where it was making us nervous that he was getting too close to our tent. On top of that, he seemed quite aggravated and was thrashing his antlers on a lot of the trees right on the side of the meadow. And the camp spot that we thought was so nice right on the side of the meadow started to feel rather unsafe. On top of that, a windstorm came up toward the morning and it was blowing the tent around, so neither one of us got much sleep that night. Pretty unusual. It's 7:30 in the morning right now and we are packed and ready to go. Unfortunately not for a good reason. So we were messing with the water filter yesterday and it wasn't filtering more than like a few drops at a time, and it took us, God, we were filtering for like
probably 2 hours.
Forever last night and barely got enough water to like cook dinner and have drinking water overnight. And then we went back and tried the filter again, like took it apart, messed with it to try to see if something was loose or whatever. But now it's not really working at all. So nothing's more important than clean water. And I have iodine tabs in my bag just in case, but I don't really trust them because I know there's a lot of giardia in the streams around here. And if one of us gets giardia because we didn't do the tablets just right, or we didn't clean the rim of the water bottle just right, or anything really, it would ruin the rest of our trip. So our plan is, since we're close enough to the trailhead for, what is it, the Hollowell?
Yeah.
The Hollowell Trail. We looked at the map and we're gonna go out to the Hollowell Trailhead and get the shuttle, and then the shuttle will take us back to the Fern whatever trailhead that we were at yesterday where our car is at. And then we can either go buy another water filter so we can do the second night of our backpacking trip and like go get a water filter, come back in, I don't know, or we can figure out something else to do tonight. I don't know. We gotta leave no matter what because we can't stay here without water. So we're hiking out. Yep. I didn't really sleep that well last night either. Those friggin' elk. Yeah. Oh my God, all night. Like the first time I heard the elk, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah. There's elk. I got really excited. All night they were like bugling and then
scratching on the trees.
Yeah, they like bang their antlers. They thrash their antlers on the trees. It was obnoxious.
A problem I've never had before.
No.
Unique one. Earplugs, anytime you go camping, make sure you have earplugs.
I had my earplugs in and I still heard them.
I know. I just kind of gave up. I was like, if they're going to stop the tent, they're going to stop the tent.
I was waiting for one to come over and just like start
get curious,
going crazy. So, oh, and then we woke up to like this crazy windstorm. I don't even know what that was, but that was like, I had my earplugs in, it didn't matter. You could still hear it. The tent was blowing around. It was like, that's why there's so many downed trees up here. Yeah. Figured it out. All right, so we're going to see how long it takes us to hike out of here. The hike out was totally different from the hike in that we took at the Fern Lake Trail Head. We were coming out through this giant meadow that gave awesome views of the mountains. And I was actually really glad that we got to see this part of the trail, but it was a good reminder to us that it's so important to have a detailed trail map with you, because if you have to change plans like we did, you can sit down and look at the map and figure out where's your easiest point of exit.
8:30?
8:30? So it took us like an hour. It's a totally different trail than what we did yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are at Hollowell Park, and then we need to go to, oh, I see, Fern Lake bus stop, right? There, thank you. We only had to wait about 10 minutes for the shuttle to come, We hopped on and headed back to the Fern Lake Trail Head to get our car. But on the way, when we were going through the main meadow, there was an elk with his harem sitting there, and a ton of people pulled over on the side of the road taking lots of pictures. Quite a difference from like the madhouse that it was yesterday. All these open parking spots. Definitely pays to get here early. We went into town and bought a water filter at a camping store, and then spent some time trying to figure out what our plan was for the rest of the day.